All right, all right, all right. We're back. My name's Eric. You're watching Sideboard MTG here on YouTube Gaming. We've got three great decks from you guys over at the subreddit, Sideboard MTG subreddit. If you guys want to get in on that, you can post your decks in the link in the description box below. As far as deck links go, we're going to be doing those a little bit different as from before. I'm actually going to post the subreddits so that or the comments on the subreddit so you can give feedback directly to the deck builders. Try to be constructive, not necessarily positive or negative, but just be constructive. And other than that, the links will take you directly to the post so that you can leave a comment and the deck builders themselves will get those comments, and maybe you can help someone be a better Magic player. Speaking of being a better Magic player, you should check out Manatraders. They have all the cards available for MTGO from the new set, and you can play anything from standard all the way back to vintage, and have a lot of fun. You don't have to have wild cards and things like that for a flat rate. You can play all of standard, play all of the decks, have fun, get your 5.0 list posted, be a better Magic player. Manatraders. If you do decide to sign up, use sideboardmtg red as your coupon code to save 15% on your first 3 months. It's a pretty good deal. All right, guys, welcome. Yes, been gone. It was a bad week. We're back. We're gonna leave it at that. Anyway, we got a pretty cool deck here. I do want to get some shout outs to those of you that are here in chat. We got Logical Order, Boros Boons, Melanie Flynn, hi. Chris Wells, what's up? Justin Clay. It's live! It's alive! That's right, it's alive. Dragon Lord, what's up, sir? You posted all the extra arena codes? Sweet, man. I will go check those out. So apparently on the Sideboard MTG subreddit, Dragon Lord has posted the extra arena codes so that you can use those to get some extra packs or whatever is available there. Dustil Dawn Gaming, what's up, man? Another fellow streamer. You should check out his YouTube channel. He's a pretty cool guy. Plays a lot of Modern. I don't know how much Arena or whatever he's playing, but Arena recently has just been such a drag. I haven't gotten to play a ton this week, but everything that I did play seemed to be mono red, mono red, mono red. And for those of you that are playing Arena, I would highly recommend, if you do not have a collection yet, to quit playing the ladder. Leave the ladder alone. Go play your constructed events. You have a higher chance at getting cards. Do I mean mono red arena? Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Mono red arena. That seems to be exactly what it is. So yeah. Midnight TV, kind of irksome when you did hero. Oh, you had Hero of Precinct 1, but no heroic reinforcements. There's a lot of different ways you can go, but it seems like the combo is so powerful. Yeah, I get that. Heroic reinforcements seems to be pretty good. That might be something you want to, click that link in the description box and let the deck builder know. Hey, check out heroic reinforcements in this deck. It might be a good card to use. All right, so let's talk about this deck. All right, first off, we've got Haunted. Where should we talk about first? Let's see. I guess we should start with Judith, right? The one card that screams, I must have things die. Not necessarily that Judith cares about things dying, mainly non-token creatures, but token creatures work well too with Judith because all creatures you control, other than Judith, will get the +1/+0 to their stats, and that's pretty sweet. So if you can get a board of things going across, Judith will do some major work. All right, so with Judith in mind, knowing that we do want a lot of creatures, a lot of non-token creatures, even some token creatures, and we want to be able to, you know, sack those to get that additional damage. Maybe we lose them in combat, do the extra point of damage to the creature that blocks so that, you know, we can get that extra damage in, finishing those creatures off and things. That Judith works really well for all of that. Also, you know, it does need to be said that if you have a Judith and you just play another Judith, you'll get 2 Judith triggers for deciding which one you want to keep. Not bad, not bad. All right, so at the beginning of the curve, we do have Haunted Witness. Haunted Witness is just a 1/1 for 1, and when it dies, you'll get a 1/1 white soldier token with a lifelink. Lifelink's not bad, especially with Judith. You'll get that 2/1 getting in there, giving you a little bit of life back. Also, if you do have Judith out there, you'll get to make that ping. Now, Legion's Landing, another great 1-drop that works really well in the later game. If you do get this flipped, and it shouldn't be too hard with the sheer number of low drop creatures that we have, Legion's Landing will give us a token producer. Nice little engine here for keeping things on the battlefield. What's up, JC Holland and Be Informed? How you guys doing? So Legion's Landing, really good card. Footlight Fiend. Now, I like Footlight Fiend if you are playing Hero of Precinct 1. Now, we were just talking about Hero of Precinct 1. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Now, Footlight Fiend may not seem as good as Fanatical Firebrand. Fanatical Firebrand has the ability to kill itself immediately, has that haste and the Mog Fanatic ability, where you know, you just tap it and, you know, shoot something, and that instantly causes a Judith trigger. However, Footlight Fiend, you do have to, you know, make it die some way or somehow, and you know, normally not that hard. You can block with it, just start getting in for damage, and then, you know, they kind of got to be weary or not whether they kill it. Footlight Fiend is also a multicolored card, which works really well with Hero of Precinct 1. Now, moving on up the curve here, we do have Imperious Oligarch, which is a Vigilant 2/1, and of course if you have the Judith out, it'll be a 3/1, and it has Afterlife 1. So if this dies, we also get a token, which gives us, you know, that extra little something there. It is a flying token, and flying spirits work great with Judith's first ability. We have Fireblade Artist, which has haste. It's a 2/2 for 2, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a creature. When you do, Fireblade Artist will deal 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. This will trigger things like Spectacle. Now, if you have triggered Spectacle, you can, you know, launch fireballs at your opponent, or fire bolts, if you are lightning bolts, if you will, here with Skewer the Critics. Now, 1 mana for 3 damage to any target seems pretty sweet to me. Of course, you know, we've got a lot of ways to trigger Spectacle, including Spawn of Mayhem, which will trigger Spectacle every single turn. Now, Spawn of Mayhem does have flying and trample, and it is a 4 mana 4/4. But at the beginning of your upkeep, Spawn of Mayhem will deal 1 damage to each player. Then, if you have 10 or less life, you get to put a +1/1 counter on Spawn of Mayhem, allowing this to grow and grow and grow, but it does put a clock on both you and the opponent. So, not horrible, but I'm not a big fan of the card in general without a lot of, you know, Spectacle creatures and things like, or Spectacle cards, but this is one of the better ways to trigger Spectacle. Now, when we get over to the sideboard, you'll see another great way to trigger Spectacle in the late game. However, Spawn of Mayhem's a good solid way to get this done. We also have Tessa Karloff at the 4 mana slot. If a creature dying causes an ability to trigger, you'll get an extra trigger off of that. Now, creature tokens will also get Vigilance and Lifelink, which is not bad. Goes with a lot of the sub-theme that's going on here, where we have our creatures die and we get a little something back for it. So giving our tokens and such that Lifelink and Vigilance is pretty sweet. Now, as far as removal in the deck, there's not a ton, but we do have a Revival Revenge, not removal, but recursion, if you will. It allows us to play something from our graveyard for 2 converted mana cost. Well, a creature that is 3 converted mana cost, we can pay 2 mana for it, whether it's white or black or a combination thereof. As far as the revenge side of this card, let's pull that over so you guys can see it. As far as the revenge side of this card, it will just double your life total. Target opponent loses half of their life rounded up. Now, this is not going to be best of one, so we do have a sideboard, and let's take a look at that. We've got 3 copies of Duress, which is great against those control decks. Just ripping something like a Teferi out of their hand sounds great to me. Even against, even against other decks other than Teferi, this can be handy. So if they have non-creature spells that you need to remove, this might be where you want to be. I also in these more front-ended decks, front-loaded decks where you want to be playing creatures on the early turns, I really like being able to play a card like Duress on turn 3 or 4, making sure that they don't have a board wipe or they don't have something like a Settle the Wreckage, so that you can continue getting in. So this is a really, really good card even on turn 3 or 4. Also, we have Theater of Horrors. This is one of my favorite spectacle cards, even though it is not spectacle. You do technically have to activate spectacle to start getting the cards from under it, but once you get a couple of these down, you'll just have access to so many cards every turn. So I really like Theater of Horrors. We've got 3 copies of Bedevil, which destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker at instant speed. Pretty sweet and straightforward. If we needed to wipe the board completely, though, we could always just use Kaya's Wrath. Destroy all creatures. Those will all die at the exact same time, so if you do have a Judith on the battlefield, she's going to see everything die. You'll get those triggers, and you'll be able to punch your opponent in the face for quite a bit. Also, with our afterlife triggers and things like that, we should be able to get some creatures. We should be left with something after everything has been wiped. Now, if you need to wipe a little bit early, or you need to just gain a little bit of life, Deafening Clarion's there for you. We've also got 1 copy of Demon of Catastrophes, big 6/6 for 4, but you gotta sacrifice something. Not a big deal when you've got cards like Hunted Witness or the Imperious Oligarch. We've also got a couple copies of Conclave Tribunal, which will allow us to have some explosive turns where we're playing creatures and removing things. So, alright, I tried to get through that as quickly as possible without too many interruptions, so now we can go back and read some of these messages. By the way, did I see Saffron Olive posted a deck tech for 5-color mono white aggro in Modern? You wanted to be so mad at it, but it was clever AF with the name and deck list. Yeah, I didn't see that, but I'll check it out. How does one have 5 colors in a mono white deck? We played Mardu mono white a while back, where you actually just had all white creatures that had a black ability. One creature had a red ability. I think that was just, that creature wasn't even white though. That was oh man, Bomat Courier. I can't believe I forgot the name of Bomat Courier. All right, I do see some people saying something about Deb's deck here. JC Holland is it was a Deb's deck, budget deck. You play with Theater of Horrors today. It's a really good card. Yes, Boros, Theater of Horrors is a fantastic card. I have been impressed every time I've played the card. And been impressed even when I was getting my butt kicked because my opponent had a ton of card advantage on me. So the card is the real deal. Theater of Horrors might start seeing a little bit more play than I had originally had expected, but I've always known that it was just a really decent card. So, all right, so what am I missing here, JC? You're waiting to see what kind of weenie shenanigans Dev does with some of the new Orzhov stuff. I'm sure that'll be something really, really good. What's up, MTG Bobby Q? As far as Dev's deck goes, we've got a double Dev's deck coming up tomorrow where we're going to be doing a little bit of catch-up. Dev has currently put out 2 decks for us. The first one being a Gruul Monsters deck, which we'll be playing tomorrow. And then we've got a Rakdos Aristocrats deck. I do want to point something out, considering we're talking about Mardu Aristocrats right now. Dev is playing Priest of the Forgotten Gods. I don't really believe we should be playing an Aristocrats type deck without this card. This card is phenomenal, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to be playing Aristocrats, I believe that Priest of the Forgotten Gods is 100% where you want to be. Now, we don't have that in this particular deck, but I do like the idea of Priest of the Forgotten Gods. I've seen quite a few deck techs where people were talking about their different Aristocrats builds and such. Most of them do play Priest of the Forgotten Gods, and it's for good reason. So this is what we've got. As far as what we expect to run into, I expect to run into a lot of Sultai midrange. If what's up, Matt Smith? Yes, Dev is the man. We played every single one of Dev's individual decks. He put out a nice little series of decks last season. I think there were like 5 decks in that I didn't play. But as far as Dev's decks went, I played every deck that he put out last season, and I plan to do it again this season. So if you like Dev's deck, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're going to be playing them again. I've already got the first 2 pulled up, and we'll be playing those tomorrow night. So if you guys want to see those, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and then hit the like button while you're at it, right? Notification bell as well, so you know when I'm going live. But I'll let you know that it's going to be sometime between 9 and 9:30 Central Time. So yeah, that's what we've got tomorrow. But right now, we're going to go play Mardu Aristocrats. Oh yes, Sultai. It's basically Golgari Blue. They've basically splashed a little bit of the Golgari deck, or a little bit of blue into the Golgari deck now that the mana base is a little bit smoother, and it looks like that's pretty much the line going here forward. There were a ton of Golgari decks, so yeah. Also, all you're seeing on Mythic Arena are Teferi builds. Yes. Still your fault. Yes, Marcus. It is still your fault. Marcus, I did see your mono red deck, and I just instantly downvoted it, man. Before I even seen it was built by you, I seen it was a mono red deck on the stream, or on the subreddit, and I was like, I'm so sick of red. I do not want to have anything to do with red. I'm going to mulligan this hand, ladies and gentlemen. This looks a little bit better. It's not the most playable hand in the world, but at least we have a couple more lands, a couple more castables. Legion's Landing. Do we want that? Probably not. Like, if I had more white sources, I could probably get away with Legion's Landing, but I think we're just going to have to go Haunted Witness and just kind of go from there. So, yeah, I know it's pretty fun. I get it. You know, you got... Mono red is going to kill Arena, and I'm not even going to say that I'm mad. I'm not mad. As long as we're playing best of 1, that's kind of where you want to be. You kind of just want to be in mono red. Alright, so I could come out with a Haunted Witness here, but I could also just play this Dragon Skull Summit, smack him in the face for 2 right now, and I feel like I'm catching up a little bit. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I do know we're going to deny the trigger on upkeep next turn. You stop putting up Unsealed Brews, even though doing work in Arena with them. Well, good, man. Oh man, he didn't get a blue source. All right, so we're gonna go to the sideboard. All right, against mono blue, Duress is great. I also like Theater of Horrors here. I'm actually going to get rid of my Revival Revenges here, just because I don't see... I don't even know that it's mono blue, honestly. We didn't see enough, but I'm just going to assume that it might be, and which is probably completely wrong. He probably just got mana screwed, and he's not mono blue at all. But I'm going to bring in Duress and Theater of Horrors here, just so that I can get a little bit more card advantage and a little bit of card disadvantage from the opponent. Not necessarily disadvantage, kind of equals out, but we'll be able to take a choice card from our opponent. Also, that being said, I'm going to peel back on a couple creatures. I'm going to drop my curve just a little bit. I'm going to take out 1 Imperious Oligarch, 1 Spawn of Mayhem, and then we'll just go from there. So, We could bring in like Conclave Tribunal, Bedevil, things like that. If I brought in the Bedevils, like if we find that it's a Teferi deck, I might bring in the Bedevils, and we'll come back and we'll take out like Skewer the Critics or something like that. So, but for right now, we're just gonna go with the Duress and the Theater of Horrors. But I have to play it like it's a mono blue because that's all I seen. Gain 2 life 3 times and red deck still done. Best of 1. Yeah, well. Now, I could get in with a Footlight Fiend, but I don't have a ton of creatures here. So, alright, so that means that I can play Footlight Fiend, or I could play Hero of Precinct 1. And let's just bring this in tapped. We'll play this a little bit slow. We'll try to play the Hero of Precinct 1 next turn. And, yeah, you're going to opt. And then see if we can follow that up on turn 3 with double Footlight Fiend. That'll give us a really good board presence, and we can, just start doing some work from there. Now, this is a cast trigger, so like the creature doesn't have to resolve. Ooh, okay. So Beam Splitter Mage. All right. Well, I'm still going to play the hero and see if it survives. If it does survive, then we can do things from there. It may not survive, though. You play Selesnya Knights on Arena to hose red, and you play 4 Knights of Autumn. It works. Right? But you're just playing to hose red, right? So what do you do when you come up against Turbo Fog? Like, what's your plan versus Turbo Fog if you're playing Selesnya Knights? I know the deck's fairly fast, but Turbo Fog seems like it would be able to just stop you. So, like, from what I see, I either play a deck that's really good versus red, and, you'll still have a pretty good win percentage, or you play a deck that's pretty good versus Turbo Fog, which is basically a red deck, and kind of just take it from there. Okay. You're going to swing, opponent. It's a free swing. But if you do swing, I'm swinging back. Like, I will not block. Promise. I promise, opponent. I promise. Alright, so we're going to start casting some Footlight Fiends here. This gives us a little bit of a board presence. Wonder how bad he needs that Beam Splitter Mage. Radical idea. He's going to jump start. You want to block? Or do you just take 2? Look at that. He just took 2. So the opponent has been dealt damage this turn, so I'm going to cast with Spectacle. That tells me that he really likes that Beam Splitter Mage. We got in for the Spectacle, and yeah. Fun story from pre-release. You beat a dude because you were in a board stall, and you had more life than him with Spewer on the field. He gets down to 2, goes to his turn, and the legend kills himself with his own 2 Spewers. Alright. Now he's going to Lava Coil. Bet he wishes he would have done that last turn. What do you got? Another Beam Splitter? Tormenting Voice. Alright, so he's going to be tapped out this turn. Teysa Karlov is going to come down. We're going to do a little bit of work. Alright, Teysa. Take us home, lady. Take us home. Now, a Judith would be absolutely wonderful here, but no Judith. Judith would have been huge, huge. Knights of Autumn kill their enchantments, meaning Meaning, okay, so you get to kill, search, risk, Hanta, wilderness, reclamation. Yeah, you found the fog decks to be clunky against your knights. Fair enough. All right, so he's drawing a card off of Crackling Drake here. Alright, well, I am definitely going to play the Legion's Landing. Alright, so we'll jump into combat. I am not opposed to just doing a little damage. Don't see him blocking here. I mean, he may block. He may throw off a block. Oh, he's gonna do it. He did it. Oh man, that's so good for us. Alright, so again, we're just going to spectacle away the Drake, and then at end of turn, we have a flipped Adonto. We can make another token. I mean, we're not necessarily winning this, but we are not losing either. Not yet. Now, when Niv Mizzet comes out, we might be in trouble. Yeah, I couldn't play around the dive down there. I was actually more worried about like Spell Pierce, which is not a problem with all the mana. But, I mean, I don't think that we had the opportunity to play around dive down. So, I mean, he's got a Radical Idea in the graveyard, so he can cast a Radical Idea here. Lava Coil on Teysa. Seems like a thing. Alright, we're going to go ahead and make a token. Right. Well, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a lot of choices. We have to just keep getting in. It's kind of what this deck does. Would love to have a Judith, but unfortunately we just don't. No choices here. We do have to start trading guys for other guys. Right, well, means these hit anyway. I'll hold on to the mountain. I like no point revealing that I just drew another land. He does have 3 cards in hand. Getting in. Look at him. Man, no fear of the seal away. Just no fear. He might be able to chain a bunch of stuff together. Eat all of our tokens. Do a whole bunch of stuff. We'll see. Please stop this silly hating on mono red. It's the format you have a problem with. Yes, well, there's a ton of people that have stated that the reason they're playing mono red is because that's their option against against the Turbo Fog decks, right? Like, because we don't have this ability to sideboard, playing these decks that are far to the left or far to the right, you know, Turbo Fog being, you know, the ultimate control deck, Mono Red being the ultimate aggro deck. You know, we're just burning, we're getting in. You know, like we're just gonna keep doing things. Like, as of right now, we might be losing to these big dudes. These 1/5s might be getting us. But well, there's another hero. It's not exactly what I wanted to see. I think I've got to wait. Yeah, like, the whole point of Mono Red is to beat Turbo Fog, right? And then the whole point of Turbo Fog is to beat everything else. And if you can't have a sideboard, then you just really can't do much. Oh, wow. Quasi Duplicate for the win here. Just all the mystics in the world. But I ain't gonna lie, I hated mono red before best of one. So, like, it's one of those decks that you're like, oh, what happened, man? What happened? Red deck wins got me. Right, and people just kind of understand. Right now I'm wishing I'd have brought in a board sweeper. Really, dude? But we've got game 3, so now that we know what the opponent's doing, we can come back with you know, a different take. Oh, look, another hero. He hasn't been very heroic lately. You love Arena? I like Arena, but I love traditional Magic. And I hate calling it traditional Magic, but I love traditional Magic, and unfortunately Arena just doesn't feel like that for me. It just doesn't feel like traditional Magic, so. I mean, you have to have a sideboard. There's just good reasons to have a sideboard, so. But yeah, I'm not just like straight hating on mono red. I'm hating on the best of one format. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop to the extra Murmuring Mystic there. He's gonna be making four tokens per, so we're gonna bring in some stuff. I definitely want some flying trample, so definitely gonna be making some changes to what I originally had in the deck. I think I want to take out Imperious Oligarchy. Duress is probably not going to be as good as I originally thought it to be. Do we want a Deafening Clarion, or do we just want like some actual kill spells? I mean, the Oligarch has, I don't know. Is there something else I would rather take out? I mean, I guess we bring in another creature. I definitely want to be aggressive before he can start getting his big dudes off. But, like, Skewer the Critics seems good. I'm going to take out Theater of Horrors and bring in a couple Bedevils. Yeah. We're going to roll with Bedevils and Kaya's Wrath here. So, still in the beta. Well, I don't know how much you can change best of one to make it not the beta. Like, there's a reason, like, if you're losing to mono red in traditional Magic, you're failing in deck design. I rarely lose to mono red, but there's always that thing where red deck just wins. Yeah, maybe I came off wrong with that, but you know, there's always that thing where your buddy walks up to you and says, you know, hey man, I lost. What happened? Mono red got me. Well, that happens sometimes. I think I want Legion's Landing here. Maybe I don't. Like, is Haunted Witness better than Legion's Landing on the on turn 1? Like, if we play Legion's Landing, we put our opponent into one of those situations where he really tries to just destroy everything we play, and I like that, considering, you know, a ton of cards that are going to give us, you know, extra stuff. So I'd rather him try to keep our creature count low and spend his turns burning. So, yeah. So yeah, like maybe I come off a little bit wrong on saying, you know what? I'm just gonna move on. I can't keep up with chat and play the game right now. You guys apparently have a couple side conversations going. But as far as best of one goes, I've never made it a secret that I don't like best of one. I just think that it's non-Magic. It's just not at the core of what Magic is. It's a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, like to just bash it out, just hey, bam, 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 bam. But we're starting to see, we're starting to really see what the penalty of playing a ton of best of one is. I mean, I could just play this isolated chapel and then pray for a red source. Like, do I even want to expose this hero of Precinct 1? Like, I really don't want to expose it yet, but like we're killing ourselves to an out right now. Like, we have an out of drawing a red source, playing Judith next turn, getting additional body, and hitting for even more. Whereas if I just play the Haunted Witness, like, can we trust that the red source is coming? I mean, because he's got a lot of coil coming up, right? I'm just going to go with the Haunted Witness. I'm going to save the hero. Trust the deck. Okay, well, if we get that red source off the top, we will severely be punished. Severely punished. Ooh, I don't feel that bad now. I really don't feel that bad now. That's still pretty good, even though it's not a red source. We do get to go hero, and then we get to immediately Footlight Fiend, which is a multicolored spell. It'll trigger our hero. We are looking at three attackers next turn. Really wish we could hit that red source though. Getting a Judith down would help a ton. You can never trust the shuffler. Our opponent's going to scoop to no blue. All right. Yeah. Oh man, sorry opponent. I get where you're coming from, man. No blue. That hurt. That hurt a lot. Sad or mad safe. Yeah, man. I mean, look at this. He had Goblin Electromancer, Crackling Drake, Murmuring Mystic, but no blue mana. Just never got there. Well, sad times for our opponent. So what do you guys think about it? I mean, we got to see it. What's up, Rocker? Yeah, I'm back, man. Yeah, that was sad for the opponent. He didn't draw what he needed. Needed a land and just didn't get it. So, I don't know. I think I played that right with the Haunted Witness, and then we still had an extra out there. I didn't even think about the out of just drawing a Footlight Fiend and getting the extra body off of that. I say an out, but that's rewarded. A reward there. We weren't kind of behind and like digging for an out, but whatever. All right. So now that I'm not playing Magic, let me clarify a little bit. Let me see if I can clear my mind and talk a little bit about Arena here. Over the past couple days, I've had quite a bit of time where I was away from my computer, but had my phone available to me. So I watched quite a bit of YouTube, as a lot of you guys do. And during that time, I seen a lot of complaints about Arena. Like, a lot of people are talking about Arena just being absolutely full of red deck and absolutely full of fog. So sure enough, when I finally got a chance yesterday to actually start playing some Arena again, that's what I found. I found that there was just a ton of red deck, a ton of fog, a ton of like Jeskai control decks, things like that, where you basically had to be playing mono red so that you could burn them out, like get those early points of damage in, and then just finish them off with just points of burn straight from the hand. Or you were playing the Niv Mizzet or the Teferi decks that gained a bunch of life, to get through the red decks, and you had the sweepers and everything. So it was like no way that the Sultai mid-range decks and things like that could do much to you because they didn't have access to negate and things like that. So it actually turned out to be exactly like most of the YouTubers and streamers had spoke about, and it is a symptom of best of one. Like the fact that if you watch the Professor and Pleasant Kenobi's video on does the sideboard die to best of one, you'll see that even the professor said that he was playing mono red, and that's because mono red's really good in that format. And let's face it, as Jimmy and Johnny as a lot of us are, we all got that little bit of spike in us, right? And if you want to do well, you're going to play a really good deck, and if you have the means to get mono red, which, let's face it, it doesn't take a ton to get mono red, especially considering you don't have to put any money into or any wild cards into the land base. Mono red is just kind of where you want to be. And if you're starting out, you're doing the mythic grind or something like that, mono red has about a 60 to 65% win chance on the long term. So even when you're just losing or you have bad hands, you just run it back. They're very quick games, and we've all seen that the mythic ladder is just about putting time in. So that sort of thing, like, it's forcing people to play mono red or play super control on the other end of the spectrum. Conk VR Vanguard, don't worry, man, you're right. His Rakdos Aristocrats, or Judith Priest, I think everybody's made that Judith Priest joke. The Rakdos Aristocrats deck of devs is a pretty sweet deck. We're going to be playing that tomorrow night, so if you do want to see that, we will be playing it. We've also got his Gruul monsters coming up, so we got a double devs deck coming up. I'm going to be playing about 3 games of each, so should be a lot of fun. You can fling them, burn them. If you can't fling them, burn them, well, that's a thing. So yeah, a lot of us have been kind of forced into mono red. I'm not going to lie, my wife has been playing mono red. I've been playing some mono red. And that's just kind of where you end up at in best of one. And I don't think that it's an extremely healthy format. It's a great format, do not get me wrong. If you just need to get a quick game of Magic in, you got a little bit of time, it's wonderful. And as soon as Arena becomes available on other formats, like where we can have like Arena on our tablets or our phones or something like that, mono red's going to be great. Or let's say best of one's going to be great, right? Because you're like, I'm sitting at the doctor's office, or you're somewhere waiting on something. You know what? I'll play a game real quick. And no lie, most of my best of one games only take like 4 to 5 minutes. I mean, you can play a game of best of one while you're waiting in line at the coffee shop, right? Like, so you're going to Starbucks and you're waiting for the poor people in front of you to get their coffee, or you're waiting on your caramel latte to come out. You can just sit there and play a quick game. And so if we had this on tablets and things like that, I think mono or best of one, I keep calling it mono red, which is all best of one has become, but I think that it'd be great for that, right? Like, but let's not try to pretend that's a competitive format, because or on console, yes, JC, I want to see it on Xbox really bad. But as far as best of one goes, I just don't see it as being a competitive format. Like, you can't just say, hey, coin flip, who wins, and then have that become competitive. Now, granted, I've had some very, very in-depth best of one games, but most of the time it really boils down to if you got to go first and things like that. So you never thought you'd hear Eric talk about caramel lattes on stream. Hey buddy, I like any coffee. I even like a good chai latte, right? Oh man, yeah. But yeah, it's there's a lot of luck involved in best of one, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up so that I can just kind of move on, so I don't spend the entire hour or two here just griping about Arena, because I played like 5 hours of Arena yesterday trying to catch up on and see what was going on, and unfortunately I didn't get to see crap. So I finally got tired of it and said, I'll watch the SCG tour. And there, ladies and gentlemen, we got to see a lot of interesting stuff. However, there wasn't a ton of diversity in day 2. There was a ton of Sultai mid-range, which, let's face it, Sultai mid-range is, for better or worse, Golgari Blue. Alright, it's the Golgari deck we've been fighting for the last 3 months. Splashed blue. I am happy to see copies of Hostage Taker in the deck. I'm happy to see certain copies of this deck, putting in that one Muldrotha in the deck. I'm happy to see these type of things happen, as that's a little bit more engaging. But I was watching, the top 8 and stuff today, and watching those guys play, and really having to sit down and do the math and make the proper trades and the swings and everything. It really just shows how skill based those decks are, and how skill based that Magic can be. And it just upset me that Arena had turned us all to, well, I've got to play best of 1, and I'm so thankful that Arena is getting best of 3 for ranked constructed, which is going to be a blast. Having proper sideboards again, sideboarding properly, all of those things. That's gonna be great. All right, that's gonna be absolutely great. But again, I think that best of 1 should just be hobby Magic. You need to get a quick game in. Throw up a best of 1, pull out your favorite deck, kill some time, play a couple games, and then move on. But when you really want to sit down and play some high level Magic, I think you need best of 3, and I think a lot of other people agree with me. So that's my thoughts on it. How scatterbrained they are. I'm sorry, but yeah. Crassus, yes. Crassus was absolutely phenomenal in today's event, SEG Tour. When I was watching that, even when I was watching the end there, where the winner, I can't remember his name, but the winner was talking about how every time he cast Crassus, it kind of felt like playing a Sphinx's Revelation. And you know what? I think that's awesome. We did see some Bant decks just because of Crassus. Bant, I think, won the format, which, you're getting to play this kind of control, but yet you're putting creatures onto the battlefield with the Frilled Mystic. I think all of that's great, and there's some good innovation there. So yeah. I earned a like for the Arena conversation. Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Now that that's been said, it is time to play some Azorius. Now, there's no Teferi in this particular version of Azorius we got, but we got a couple copies in the last deck. So, well, the thing about Arena, I'm going to say it's our fault, and I mean that by the players. We all freaked out when ranked Arena was best of 1. Now, granted, that's partly on Wizards for making ranked Arena best of 1, but thankfully we freaked out enough that they said, okay, best of 3 is going to be ranked, so you're going to be able to play ranked in best of 3 for your constructed rank. Alright, thank you, Wizards, for listening and answering. But it's kind of our fault. A lot of people were like, oh my god, best of 3 is gonna die, and we all kind of jumped on that boat. And luckily though, now that best of 3 is going to be part of ranked again, and we've all heard that, everybody's kind of backing off of the oh my god, best of 3 is dead, thing, and we're starting to get back to the more competitive side of things. Also, it may be a good thing that Mono Red was the big aggressive deck, because there's a lot of hatred for Mono Red, and there's also a lot of hatred for Turbo Fog. So if you like one, you probably hate the other, and if you like the other, you probably hate the other one. So either way, it's just one of those things, and maybe everything just turned out for the best. Maybe Wizards knew what they were doing from the get-go. That might be giving a little too much credit, but I don't know. Either way, I think that things are going to turn out perfectly fine for Magic. I think things are going to turn out perfectly fine for Magic Online. I think the fact that a lot of people are going to come back to best of 3, and they're also going to want their deck list posted. You know, like that was one of the biggest things about you know, playing, you know, tournaments and things like that online was, you know, hey, if I 5-0 this, my deck list and name gets posted right there on TCG Player. You know, it'll be there for everyone else to see. Like, that was always really, really cool. And even though I haven't done it in quite some time, that was always, you know, a lot of fun for me to get 5-0s on Magic Online and have my decks posted. So, you know, that's there. And now that the stigma of Arena is starting to kind of fade a little bit, I think that we're going to come back to a world of paper Magic, Arena, and MTGO. And I'm happy that we're starting to get some balance in that, and that feels really, really good. So, that being said, let's talk about this Azorius, Curious Azorius. All right, so Curious Azorius, we're using Terramander as a 1-mana 1/1 with flying. You know, great card to slap that Curious Obsession on. Great card to protect with Dive Down. As we're casting our spells and stuff, we're going to be able to make its Adapt 4 ability much, much cheaper. Eventually, possibly even having, you know, like a 6/6, or sorry, a 5/5, possibly a 6/6, depending on how many Curious Obsessions we end up putting on it. So, you know, Terramander, great one mana flyer here. We've got a bunch of flyers. We've also got, you know, Wizard here and our Siren Storm Tamer. Another great 1-mana flyer. We can use it as a counter spell to protect some of our other creatures. Kind of works like Dive Down, only we lose a creature. Of course, you know, Dive Down's in here. We've got some Spell Pierce, good early protection. I think Dive Down and Spell Pierce are really, really important in these Curious Obsession decks because you want to play turn 1 creature, and then you want to play turn 2 Curious Obsession holding a Dive Down or a Spell Pierce up so that they can't stop your creature. Spell Pierce works really, really good right now. There's a lot of, you know, a lot of kill spells and stuff that they're going to want to, you know, destroy your curiously obsessed creature, and Spell Pierce works great for that. We've got copies of Fairy Duelist here, which is an interesting little card, but flash flying, and when Fairy Duelist enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent control gets -2/-0, and if we've got our favorable winds on the battlefield, then our Fairy Duelist will be able to do some serious battling against the opposing creatures. Now, we've also got Night Veil Sprite, which if you've played any type of mono blue deck, Night Veil Sprite's pretty decent in these Curious Obsession decks because you get to, you know, attack, you get that Surveil trigger, you get to know what's on top of the library, and then you get to draw a card. Works pretty sweet. We've got some Quench here, 4 copies actually. So even though we're only running 2 Spell Pierce, which we really want Spell Pierce or Dive Down on turn 2, and Quench doesn't really fit that line of play, so I might actually put a little more emphasis on a 3rd copy of Spell Pierce instead of 4 copies of Quench. But in between turns 3 through like 5 or 6, Quench is normally really, really good. So I do like Quench. What would it take to get me to do some draft streams? On Arena or on Magic Online? Like, where would you want to see them done? Basically, you pay for it, I'll play it. Like, if you want to sponsor a draft stream, you can do that. Just sideboardmtg at gmail.com for PayPal if you want to do that. So if you want to sponsor some draft streams, and if you have Dragonlord, I know you have MTGO, so I'll even give you the cards when they're done, man, because I don't have any need for cards on Magic Online. So, like, if you want Magic Online and you want to pay for it, or you want to sponsor a stream, I'm going to keep saying it that way. If you want to sponsor a stream, I'll give you the cards when we're done. So, or at least all the rares or whatever. So, if you want to do that, we can do that. Anyway, we've got Dovin, Grand Arbiter. He spits out a Thopter or 2, and if you got a couple early creatures on the battlefield and you start swinging, then Dovin is absolutely terrific. He can jump up there really, really quick. I do want to say, though, that I'm not a big fan of Dovin's -7 ability without some bomb to play, right? Like, there are definitely no bombs in this deck, and digging 10 cards deep to find a Terramander normally doesn't sound that great for me, so... sponsor on Arena and you can pick cards you need. Right, well, if you want to sponsor on Arena, I can't give you the cards when we're done. But if you want to sponsor on MTGO, I can trade cards to you, so I'll just give you the cards when we're done. Again, I use manatraders. I have no need for anything that comes from the drafts or anything, because with manatraders you just have access to all the cards, like just all the cards. You don't have to worry about wild cards or anything like that. I guess this is another good time for a pitch for manatraders. If you guys want to use manatraders, links in the description box, along with a 15% off coupon for the first 3 months. Check it out. Sphinx's Foresight here, 4-drop, but you know, if we have this in our opening hand, we get to scry 3 before the game even starts, right? Seems really, really good. We've also got some Depose Deploy. Tap target creature, draw a card, seems okay to me. And then as far as the other side of it, we get to create 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens, and then we gain a life for each creature we control. Playing this and then, you know, dropping a Dovin, upticking Dovin, swinging with all of our flying creatures seems really, really sweet. So it looks like there's some really sweet plays here. Looks like it's going to play a bit like a tempo deck. So it seems like it'd be pretty good. You'd love to see Sphinx's Foresight in action. Sphinx's Foresight or Sphinx of Foresight? What? Did I read that wrong? Yeah, I would like to see it in our opening hand. As far as the sideboard goes, we've got some life gain here with Healer's Hawk. We've got some Sky Tethers, which, ain't gonna lie, guys, this is a good card. Like, it's not a great card, right? It's not a wonderful card. It's good. It's playable. This card's definitely playable. Sky Tether, you know, like, they got an important creature. You pay 1 mana and all of a sudden Niv Mizzet loses flying and becomes a defender. That's okay. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world. Niv Mizzet's still going to give them, you know, triggers and everything else, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I do kind of like Sky Tether here. I think it's a reasonable answer to a lot of threats, especially when their creatures lose flying and we have flying. The one thing I would rather Sky Tether than anything else is a Lyra. You put this on a Lyra and you just feel so good about yourself, right? Negate here. One of the best reasons to have a sideboard in the first place. So, you just misremembered the name. All right, so Sphinx of Foresight. Maybe we can get it to work. All right, so we've also got a couple copies of Sorcerer's Spyglass. Great way to deal with Teferi, other planeswalkers. Conclave Tribunal. We got a bunch of creatures. We get to continue playing creatures. Our 1-mana creatures are actually mana neutral the turn that we plan to cast a Conclave Tribunal. So that's pretty sweet. And then we've got a Warrant to Warden, which is... you know, put target attacking creature on top of its owner's library. Very, very powerful effect that we do not see very often in Magic. Being able to put something on top of our opponent's library not only time walks them by making them have to recast that, but they also lose that draw, so we get closer to a true time walk. And then we get Warden here, where we could, you know, just make a 4/4 white and blue Sphinx creature token with flying and vigilance. So that's our tempo deck, and we're gonna kind of go on from there. I will try to read chat a little bit more during this game than I did in the last game. I was in the middle of an arena rant for last game, but we'll see if I can do better. All right, because I know I see a lot of at sideboard MTGs there, and you know, well, I'll see what I can do here. You couldn't draw a Curious Obsession to save your life. Man, I have been there. I promise you, I have been there. Well, Curious Obsession would be really, really sweet. But this is still a playable hand. I think I just want to come out with a Pteramander and kind of hang on to my Siren Storm Tamer till I know a little bit more about what's going on. So I am going to keep. Although Pteramander may be better later down the line. Yeah. Let's see what we draw. We would dive down. Alright. We need double blue for that to work really, really well. So yeah, I'll just get in with a Pteramander. Next turn we'll play Nightvale Sprite so we can start controlling our draws a little bit better. And then just go from there. Also, it wouldn't hurt me at all to throw some additional instants and sorceries in the graveyard. Ooh, Growth Chamber Guardian. Alright, so this is the Sultai deck that we've been seeing. Oh man, this is brutal. Alright, well we know we're playing this. We'll go ahead and get in for one here. Now, next turn, I may not play anything and just kind of hold dive down up. Oh, he gets in. Oh, the beats. They hurt so bad. Does he go ahead and activate right now? I mean, he already played a land. Like, if he spends his turn 3 just activating, it's probably not the worst thing in the world for us. So he goes and gets another Growth Chamber Guardian. I mean, for 5 mana, you can just play these. You can just kind of go. There's another Pteramander. Let's get into combat and see what's on top of the library before we make any more decisions. All right, so we'll get our Surveil trigger here. Ooh. I think I have to leave it on top. I would love to have it, but not having an additional. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play the Sprite. But not having an additional blue mana to be able to cast like Dive Down after Curious Obsession seems really, really bad. So, Shiny Simic is better. You like some Shiny Simic? Well, we're losing this race, ladies and gentlemen. Like 4 damage versus our 3 is just not going to do it. Let's get some triggers. We'll know more. Favorable win. See, this seems great, but without mana, I can't really do anything. So I've just got to start pitching these. We have to get another blue source, or we just can't do anything. So I can stave off a little bit of damage here with Fairy Duelist. I think that's going to be the play I take. Like, favorable wins would have been nice to help us catch up, but again, I don't think that's exactly where I want to be. Yeah, there's a Contempt. Kind of figured that was going to happen. All right, so now we're getting close to the turns where, you know, he can Growth Chamber Guardian. All right, we're just going to stop a little damage here with our Fairy Duelist. Really need another blue source. Does he have a counterspell for this? Frailed Mystic. Yep, that's happening. Yep, that's what I was worried about. This is going to be one of the new top decks, ladies and gentlemen. Do not mistake this deck. Being able to counter spells and play creatures at the same time. I always thought that it was going to be powerful, but seeing it thrown in the Golgari shell, man, this is so good. So, all right, Hallowed Fountain. Man, I need to pay that. Oh, that hurts so bad, but I'm going to pay it anyway. All right, so we're going to curiously obsess this thing. Unfortunately, I can only swing with the 2/3. Terramander graveyard. I mean, I got a Terramander in hand. I still can't play it. Unfortunately, we just like didn't have enough land early in the game, so now we're just kind of in a bad spot. And then we're gonna lose our Night Veil sprite because we're gonna have to cast the dive down on the curious Night Veil sprite to save it from this Chupacabra or whatever. Oh, no Chup, no Chup. No, we definitely got to stop a little damage here. Do I dive this? Do I dive down this? Yep. Dive down on the Night Veil sprite. We'll see if we can keep it alive for a moment. Yeah, the white source in this deck is really, really bad. You need so much blue in these tempo decks just because of that turn 1, turn 2 play that it's a bit of a nightmare. Can't pay for that. Let's go ahead. Maybe I should have swung first. And can't make use out of that. We're so far behind. Even though I might be able to survive a turn, I don't think that we're going to be able to do much more than survive. See, that might have helped a little bit. I'd have been able to play 3 creatures. So, maybe the Hallowed Fountain was just a bad deal. Alright, well... this is what killed us. Like, this is the card that killed us right here, Plains. Just having a Plains period just destroyed us. Alright, so we're dead to everything? Dead to everything. Alright. Even if we don't block the 2/2, he just activates it and we go from there. So, what could I draw that would pull me out? Nothing. There's no draw that could pull me out. The thing about these tempo decks like this is, as soon as you fall behind, you've already lost, right? Even if the game turns out another 3 or 4 turns, Terramander's great, but the reason, well, Depose Deploy wasn't in the deck. It wasn't. Oh, it is in the deck. All right, so that would have helped a little bit, but it wouldn't have helped a whole lot. The thing that the deck is kind of missing is Tempest Gen, right? Tempest Gen is just a great card as far as... I'm going to bring in these Sky Tethers. Like, Sky Tether seems like it's going to be great. I mean, maybe we call Vivian Reed. I know he's got Vivian Reed. Sorcerer Spyglass. Conclave Tribunal seems okay. I'm actually going to peel back on some dive downs. Yeah, the thing that this deck is missing is Tempest Gen. Tempest Gen is the one card that really supports the backbone of the mono blue decks. It's one of the few cards that you can actually have that can just jump in front of a Carnage Tyrant and say, hey, hold up, big boy. I got 6 islands on the battlefield. You sure you want to swing? But the problem with that is they get to do things like They get to do things like find finale, and if you don't have a dive down, you can't do a lot. Hey, look, we're gonna get to Sphinx's foresight. I am keeping the hand. The hand looks fine. Okay, we revealed it, right? I performed the action. I revealed it. All right, there we go. I was wondering how that worked. So we get to scry 3 at the beginning of our first upkeep. Seems good. All right, so what do we need? Depose seems okay. Night Veil Sprite. We'll go to the bottom with that. We'll go to the bottom with the land. I'll keep Depose. Depose seems okay. I mean, it's instant speed, make a couple topters. We'll keep it. We'll put it on top. We'll draw it and play it. Alright. But yeah, Tempest Gen's the one card that you really, really want in these decks. So, we're going to start with a Siren Storm Tamer. Like, this deck has absolutely no way to get in front of a Carnage Tyrant. And top decking a Tempest Gen means you don't have to top deck it and then add things to it to make it to 6 power. Like, even Terramander can't do that. Like, so, like, Tempest Gen's the real deal. It just is. I think I'm just going to play Fairy Duelist at the end of turn. Now, I like Fairy Duelist, but Fairy Duelist is not Merfolk Trickster, guys. Merfolk Trickster is so much more powerful. Like, oh, I didn't play it. I'm sorry. Merfolk Trickster is... Like, you could play Merfolk Trickster, target the Growth Chamber Guardian, and even though he puts, like, while he's got Adept on the stack, and even though he's going to get the counters, he won't get the additional Growth Chamber Guardian. So, like, there's some just tricky stuff you can do with that Trickster, so. Because of deploy with favorable winds. So maybe you shouldn't be trying to split so much and and be part of this favorable winds, or so much of the mono blue tempo build as more into favorable winds. Like, maybe you should lean harder into favorable winds. So now if he wants to spend his mana, he can. And then next turn we'll just Sphinx and go from there. Thought Erasure. Well, there goes our 4/4 flyer. I expect that anyway. Maybe not. Yep, there went our 4/4 flyer. So favorable wins off the top would be terrific. Yeah, I think you're just half of two different decks, and you might be better served to just pick. For just lack of a better way to put it, just pick one, and then just build solely on that idea, versus trying to build on a different idea. If he just goes land pass, I'm probably not going to cast deploy. Oh, tap land. All right, so he's actually going to do some stuff. I want to cast deploy. Come on, favorable wins off the top. We'd be in such a good position right now if we could get a favorable wins. However, we are looking at a fine finale next turn, and that will be bad. I mean, I could have blocked this right now. He didn't even have a land to play off the Growth Spiral. But if I block that, then I'm giving up, 2 Thopter. 2 Thopters when I'm actually swinging for 5 points of damage per turn right now. Ooh. Well. See what happens. And we can play around a lot of stuff right here. Definitely think we just turn things sideways. We get to keep a Siren Storm Tamer up to protect our Pteramander. We get to draw a card here off the Curious Obsession. Just another Pteramander. We've got one more turn before we have to worry about him casting a Finale. Although when Finale happens, we're going to be pretty bad spot. So if we hit land, we can activate Pteramander. If we hit, yeah, we need to hit land, I guess. Like, do we even want to activate Pteramander? Because that'll leave us tapped out, and then like something happens, and we're just in trouble. All right, so I'm going to go for the swing here. I mean, we've got lethal on board. So right now he needs to do something. One. Oh man. So we do this and he Vraska's Contempts because we don't have a blue mana source open to protect it. Oh, he doesn't have double black. Oh my goodness. He doesn't have double black. Oh, I didn't even notice. Oh, okay. Alright, well, Bray doesn't have a cast down. We still can't do it. We still can't do it. What? So he doesn't have double black and we don't have enough mana. I thought we had 2. My bad. We'll draw a card. Well, we can do it next turn. Blah. He's still in a bad predicament here. Daggum touchscreen. It's blue-white flyers. It's blue-white tempo, Dovin Bond, flyers, things like that. Do I play Arena too, or just MTGO? Yes, I do play Arena as well. And you guys will start seeing a little bit more Arena here very soon. Here in America, you have this great time of year where there's taxes. You know, you get your income tax in. So we're going to be buying. There's going to be a big pack opening here fairly soon. So I'm going to be doing that. I'll be getting a lot of cards, but I don't want to say that I'll be able to play like all the decks. So yeah. What's up, Romeo? Romero, my bad. Ha ha ha. Romero. Sorry. Yes, the deck lists are in the description. You will have to just go over to the Reddit and actually look at the post. So, yeah. The deck's pretty sweet. Oh, the opponent just scooped it up. Okay. We did get to see the deck play and play out. We even got to see Sphinx of Foresight. So I got to see how that worked on Magic Online. So, yeah. I normally play like all of Dev's decks from SBMTG, and we play a lot of community decks, and then I like to play a lot of the tier 1 lists that pop up, like the 5.0 list and things like that. So if you guys like seeing 5.0 lists, you like seeing Dev's decks, and you like seeing community decks, then this is the channel for you. You should probably hit that subscribe button. But I do bring out some of my own brews. I had 29 brews for you guys for the streamer event, the sponsored streamer event. 29 decks that were like I had seen, you know, hey, someone was like, hey, if you try this card and this card, so I tried to brew around it. Um, yeah. Can I play music? Can I play music? You don't. Is it not loud enough? Can you not hear it? Anyway, yes, we do all of that. So if you're wondering what this channel is all about, that's pretty much it. If you guys want to post your decks to have them played on our subscriber Sundays, you know, to be part of the community decks, the link's in the description box below, so that you can jump over to the sideboardmtg subreddit and it's just a forum. Reddit is what it is. There's good, there's bad, there's pretty and ugly. All can be found on Reddit, and it is what you make of it. We don't do a lot of meme posting, and we try to keep things about 90% magic over on the subreddit. So if you got something and you're part of the community and you just want to post it over on the subreddit, you can do it. It doesn't have to be about magic, but don't let it be a habit of that you only post non-magic stuff over there. For the most part, if you go over there, you're going to find a lot of innovation. You're going to find a lot of people's decks where they're posting their ideas. Some of you will absolutely love going through the decks and saying, you know, hey, look, I tried this and I tried that, and you know, in my testing, I found that you can do this, this, and this. So, you know, there's a lot of different ways that, you know, you can be part of the community. You might just be really good at magic, and you might find a way that you can help a lot of others. And then again, you may be new to magic, and from there, you know, like, you might pick up something, or you can ask some of the people around, you know, hey, how would you do this? You know, I'm used to playing best of one or something like that, and you know, like, you might want some help of, can you just give me some good solid cards to put into a sideboard so that I can start getting into best of three? Or how come when I take my best of one deck to F&M, I just get murdered? Or, you know, maybe you just want some good helpful tips on you know, converting to paper magic if you're, you know, an arena player or something like that. So there's a ton of ways that you can become part of the community. And as far as communications go, we do most of our communication either right here in chat or over on the Sideboard MTG subreddit. So yeah, that's right. And you can, even if you don't post decks, you can have a little bit of control, because I try to play the decks that get the most votes. So if you'll jump over on the subreddit, you can just upvote or downvote if you don't like a deck. I did my first downvote in months today. I seen him on a red deck, and I was like, no! And then I realized it was Marcus, and I was like, makes it funnier. By the way, if you guys don't know, Tier 1 Jank here on YouTube is a new YouTube streamer. Him and his wife do paper magic on stream, and he does some MTGO, and he does some arena. So if you guys want to check him out, check out Tier 1 Jank here on YouTube. Nev Jacobs, Neven Jacobs? No, I have not played Gruul Monsters yet. I do have Dev's Gruul's Monsters list pulled up. I've also got his new Mardu Aristocrats. We're going to be having a double Dev's deck tomorrow. So, yes, it's absolutely Marcus's fault. But we're going to be playing both of Dev's decks tomorrow. So, for those of you just tuning in, I see we got quite a few new people here in chat. But for those of you just tuning in, we are going to be playing Dev's decks tomorrow. We've got a double Dev's deck coming up. Dev has got the patent double deck tech, but I've got the patent double Dev's deck. So we're going to be running two of his decks tomorrow. I'll try to play 3 games each with the decks. So I am going to be playing on Magic Online. As far as Magic Online goes, on Magic Online, we have access to all of the cards thanks to manatraders. They're our sponsors, and there's a coupon code and a link in the description box below if you want to get in on that. But Neven, right? Yeah. Like Negan, but Naven? I don't know. Whatever. Mr. Jacobs. We'll go that way. How's that? But anyway, yeah, we've got the Devs decks coming up tomorrow. But for right now, we've got a Nerb deck. Do any of you guys remember Nerb? Right? Alright, so Nerb occasionally pops up. with a crazy brute. Okay, so let's look at Nerb's crazy brute. Alright, so the idea here is we've got wizards. There's a bunch of wizards here in the deck. The deck looks like it's going to play kind of like tempo, but then we're going to have this all of a sudden, gotcha, kind of effect. If we can have a Neve, sorry, not Neve, Naben on the battlefield, where when a wizard enters the battlefield, we trigger that wizard's enter the battlefield trigger twice. Alright, so if we have a Naben, Dean of Iteration, on the battlefield, and then we have a Narumea in hand, and we cast Quanzai Duplicate. So, by the way, this is a 7-mana combo, okay? You cast Quanzai Duplicate on something like an Exclusion Mage or a Merfolk Trickster, and you have the Naben on the battlefield. I don't think you really want to copy Naben, but with that on the battlefield, you cast Narumea. Casting Narumea will then give you a copy of target instant or sorcery that you control. So you can then copy your Quanzai Duplicate, right? And because you have Naben, you'll get 2 copies of Quanzai Duplicate, right? You will go ahead and put that on the stack. You'll cast the Narumea. Narumea will enter the battlefield. You'll get 2 triggers from Narumea. You'll target Quanzai Duplicate. Using one of the targets or one of the copies of Quanzai Duplicate, you'll target your Merfolk Trickster or your Exclusion Mage. Using the second copy of Quanzai Duplicate, you will copy your Narumea again. That entering the battlefield will then give you 2 more triggers from Quanzai Duplicate, giving you yet another Narumea and another Merfolk Trickster or Exclusion Mage. As you continue to do this, you will then have infinite copies of Merfolk Trickster and infinite copies of Exclusion Mage. This can all be done at the end of your opponent's turn, giving you the ability to just kill him outright the very next turn. So, the combo is extremely hard to say. The Naben Narumea Quanzai Duplicate combo, but it should be a lot of fun. Whether or not it works, we'll see. But, yeah. The ultimate tempo game, right? You tempo, 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 and then boom. I just got blown away. Barry Drake. Big donation from Barry Drake. Still working on dinner, but damn, it's good to have you back in the saddle. Catch you all on the replay, folks. Barry Drake, as always, sir, thank you, thank you, thank you. What a huge hit to the stream boss. Geez, thanks, sir. I 100% appreciate that. Means a ton, sir. Means a ton. Hope you enjoy the replay. All right, we're gonna try to make this combo work. Other than that, you know, we're just taking advantage of the fact that we've got some wizards here with Wizard's Retort. You know, of course, we've got our Merfolk Tricksters and our Exclusion Mages. All these, you know, they work pretty well. Quanzai Duplicate is a sorcery. Yeah, that's right. You can't do it at end of turn. Darn. You are right. We have to do it on our turn. We do have to do this on our turn, so they do have 1 turn to kind of stop us. Man, yeah, that's brutal. We don't get to do it on a man. That just broke my heart that I don't get to do it on their turn. I appreciate all that you do, Mr. Drake. I sincerely do. Also, if you guys want to get in on, you know, having the green name tags and the little icons by your name, if you want to support the channel, there's a number of ways you can do that. You can be like Mr. Barry Drake here and do a super chat, or you can hit join if you're watching on YouTube Gaming. There'll be a join button there, and it's like sponsoring on Twitch. It's a sponsorship. You can do that, or you can hit us up on patreon.com. All right, we've also got some Deputies of Detention. That's going to be another really good card. Like, we're going for infinite combos. We just pretty much get to take away every non-land permanent they have. Sphinx's Insight, good way to draw some cards. We've got Teferi, which is, you know, of course, broken, right? Teferi is absolutely broken card. I don't see him just being bad in this deck, but yeah. Yes, that's what I was looking at originally, Mr. Jacobs. I was looking at whether or not, you know, Warrant and Warden was Depose Deploy, but apparently it is not. Either way, like, you really want to get the Quanzai duplicate thing going on. I do want to mention that those wizards do get that +1/+1. Other wizards you control get +1/+1. So, you know, that's great. Deputy of Detention is the Vidalcan wizard, so that's pretty sweet. The deck looks like a lot of fun, and I really hope that we can make the combo work. As far as the sideboard goes, we've got a little bit of graveyard removal here. We've got some negates, which are, you know, absolutely must. And then we've got Azor. I think that's pretty cool that we might have a chance to play with a real Sphinx's tutelage. Not Sphinx's tutelage. Sphinx's Revelation. Azor the Lawbreaker he does have revelations from time to time. And then we've got Settle the Wreckage, Ixalan's Binding, Devious Cover-Up, Counterspell, but, you know, we get to put some cards back in our library so we get a chance at doing things again. Nizahal, this is a great finisher. If this card had Flash, it would probably see more play than Chromium, but it doesn't have Flash. But either way, pretty sweet card. And then we've got a Singleton Nexus of Fate. I guess if we're going to go super, super late into the game, we can start copying some Nexus of Fates. Seems interesting, right? Like, I don't know. Like, how could we get infinite Nexus of Fates out of this? Like, we cast Quanzai Duplicate, cast Nexus of Fate, then have a Narumea enter the battlefield? I don't know. That seems like a lot of mana, but yeah. I don't know if we'll actually bring in Azor, but yeah, seems fine. As of right now, I'm just more excited to see Settle the Wreckage and Negate than pretty much anything else in the sideboard. I'm sure the deck builder has more reasons for each of the cards in this sideboard. The link is in the description box below if you guys want to have a chat with the deck builder himself. Go over and leave a comment on the subreddit. So yeah, how do you pull that? You got me, Paul, on the instep thing. I did not see that this was a sorcery. Remember, guys, I play these decks just before, like, I get to see these decks just before you do. So, either way, we're going to jump into the Wizards combo deck and see if we can make it happen. No, Rhino. Alright, here we go. Yes, Depose would tap and draw, help you dig a little bit. So. I'm still taken back by the big pink screen right there. Isn't there a new spell to make a copy at instant speed from Allegiance? Gee, really? Is there an instant speed copy spell? That'd be pretty good. That would put this at end of turn. That would be really good. DB. All right, so we're playing DB, or is it just like eyeballs? A little face? Did he just make a little face? That's pretty cool. All right, we will take the play. No land. I'm gonna mulligan. All right, we got a couple land. We can roll from here. I actually played Nabin. I want it. I played Nabin for a little while in my mono blue deck, and I actually really liked the card. Nabin seemed to be just terrific. It really did. Card's highly underestimated, and being able to have multiple Merfolk Trickster or Exclusion Mage triggers, really, really good. So, Thought Erasure. Well, bye Teferi. Nice having you. Good way to counter that Thought Erasure without even having to cast you. Oh, he took a Wizard's Retort, not a Teferi. What? Can't believe that. I mean, I guess I can. Maybe that means he's got something to do next turn. Alright, Nabin beatdown. secret way this deck wins. Naben beatdowns. What is this deck? That was a punt by me or him? Who punted? I don't know. This is a Wizards combo deck. We can make infinite copies of cards like Merfolk Trickster. Yes, we're playing against Esper Control. At it. I had to think about it for a moment, but yeah, I think he can just have it. At this point, I just want to see more Wizards retorts, which makes sense that he just took that. I mean, I don't have the mana. All right, so that bought a Wizards retort. Good job, sir. You bought it. No land. Your friend actually made you that? Yeah, like looking back at it, taking the counterspell seems like exactly what you want to do, because I'm a long way from casting Teferi, and he probably has some counterspells of his own. So just being able to stop me there seems like it's probably the right plan. And then I couldn't really counter the Search for Azcanta because I needed to counter anything that would hinder my game plan, right? And the game plan at that point was to beat him down 4 at a time. So, yeah. What do you mean by your friend actually made you that card? Like, made you a copy of the card? Like, what do you mean by made you that card? Like, I assume the opponent just has, you know, has an answer to Teferi. Like, the fact that he actually took a counterspell just means that he's probably got an answer for Teferi later, so. What level are you? What level are you? There's his Teferi. So he draws a card, does some untapping. And we're so far behind. Got a lot of cards that don't do much in this matchup. Man, is there any way this resolves? No way, right? No way this resolves. Absorb. Yeah, I was better off just not swinging. Or not doing anything with that. Just, yeah. Oh, he made you that card. I gotcha. Okay, so he altered it for you. That's pretty sweet. I like alters. Alright, so we lose. Like, he's got way too much untapped mana. 6 cards in hand. Teferi on the battlefield. Untapped Search for Azcanta. Or, sorry, flipped Search for Azcanta. Sorry. Moment of giving. I'm gonna scoop attack. I was platinum right before the new set came out, And then I just quit playing because I don't think you want to be playing ranked right now on Arena. I think you want to be playing constructed events. You can get more cards by not, like, you don't get anything for playing ranked. So like, I believe while you're trying to build a collection, you just shouldn't be wasting your time on ranked. And but I was platinum before that. I was Platinum 1, and then got to playing around with some new decks and went down to Platinum 4, and you can't go below that, so at that point I just started playing with everything. Binding, Negate, and Nezi's prime choices here. Yeah, I also think, like, Warrant Warden, even though that we can cast the 4 mana Warden, probably isn't that bad. Exclusion Mage is probably not that great. So I don't know. Like, I kind of want to get rid of the Exclusion Mages. Let's see. I'm looking at. I'm not really interested in Nexus of Fate. Like, I get that Nexus of Fate's a card. You can do some cool stuff. Just not really interested in Nexus of Fate. Azor the Lawbringer seems pretty decent. So, like, I'm interested in all of these. I can bring in 4, which, let's grab these 4 and just say we want to bring those in. Probably not Warrant Warden, because it's just not. We're bringing in a 5 mana 4/4 with Flying and Vigilant. It's not horrible. Deputy Detention's okay. Merfolk Trickster is not in the greatest spot in the world, but being able to play at instant speed seems really good. Definitely want the Bindings and possibly the Nizal. Maybe we just don't have room for Devious Cover-Up, but maybe, like, is this just better as, like, Quench? Like, I want the counter spells, but I'm not gonna bring them in. I'm not gonna bring in the Devious Cover-Ups. Like, maybe it's take Teferi out, but yeah. Yeah, I did side out Warden. Yeah, if you want to give some of that feedback to the deck builder himself, the link is in the description box where you can go give that feedback. It's an interesting hand. I mean, at least we have a Wizard's Retort. We do have a Deputy of Detention that we can grab a Azcanta with, but we do need to hit a white source before we can even hit that. It's a bit of a slow hand. I do think it's a keeper. And we do have a Scribe because I did mulligan, right? So I think I'll keep. I'm going to put the extra Deputy on bottom, and we're just going to try to get that Naben out and start getting in for 2. Sphinx's Insight should be Chemister's Insight. So you think the Sphinx and the Chemister, like, they have 2 different insights and one's more powerful than the other? I mean, I do. I think Chemister's Insight's much better. I would love for our opponent to just go search for Azcanta Go. That would probably be pretty sweet for us. Search for Azcanta Go. Do it. Do it. Yeah, I didn't think so. Alright, so we don't counter anything that doesn't kill us. Sure. Well, they're actually planning on a main board 7 mana combo. I need to take this out. I hate to. But I don't want him to know I have a Deputy of Detention. I will play the Naben again, though. If he wants to Kaya's Wrath on a Naben, then we'll deal with that. Right. I think you see more cards with. Let's see. So you trade one card for two. Yeah. Technically, you're netting more cards with Chemist's Insight, so that makes me think that I would prefer to have Chemist's Insight. I am still going to Sphinx's Insight at end of turn here. I'm not going to do it on my turn. Wow, the opponent is already using that F6 value. Mortify. I'm mortified. Mortified, I tell you. Just mortified. Alright, well, I mean, we can pass turn. We can do another Sphinx's Insight here. We could technically even crack our Memorial. I could also just play Narumea. Another... Maybe I should play the Merfolk Trickster there. I'll pass. And then we'll Sphinx's Insight. The opponent is definitely trying to play the clock game here. So far, so good on... Yeah, let's go ahead and Trickster. I would love to be able to get this Azor the Lawbringer down. I doubt that we can make that happen. Man, that would be great though, wouldn't it? How do we get on this control? Man, he can be countered so easily. Boom. Let's see what happens. Absorb? He's just going to absorb him. Nope. Whoa. That entered the battlefield. Oh, he's just going to mortify it now. Whatever. That's fine. Really wish we opponent, right? Yeah, yeah, but well, I kind of had to go for it. You're definitely in the same line of thinking I was in, Paul. Was he's only got 3 cards, so I got to try, right? So, I mean that's the same spot I was in. It was like, hey, he's only got 3 cards, let's go for it. I'm still gonna Sphinx's Insight. I mean, I technically have enough mana to Sphinx's Insight now. Gain some life. It could be worth it, considering if he tries to kill me with Chromium, we're going to be taking multiples of 7, and being above 20 would be, you know, like going to 22 is a solid extra hit, you know, like that's legit to actually be above 22 or above 21. So it might be worth it to cast this during our main phase if we expect that we're going to start dying to Chromium, right? Not worried about Chromium, are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so he could cast Chromium right now. If he casts Chromium though, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I double up on Sphinx's Insight. Alright, I'm just gonna pass and see if he goes for his Chromium. If he does put Chromium on the stack, then I'm gonna copy Sphinx's Insight. And just draw 4 cards. Alright, I'm gonna go for it now. Uh-oh. I did not hold control. I feel bad, but I'm still gonna get my Narmaya out. I mean, he may just Kaya's Wrath me. Okay, he's gonna absorb Narmaya. So that wouldn't have worked anyway, but okay. Got to hold control to respond to your own. Yep. Yes, Mortify is a great card. Great card. I mean, he's only got 2 cards in hand. We've drawn a ton more than he has with our Sphinx's Insights. So, but we're not really getting there on damage. Hey, that looks good. Like, is there ever a world where we just start casting Deputy of Detentions for damage? No? Probably not. Not when they stop cards like Teferi. I mean, he's still only got 3 cards in hand. Detection Tower. Man, if this just had Flash. Do we get settled? We're gonna feel bad if I didn't cast Nezahal and he settles us. Why don't you have Flash? I'm gonna cast Nezahal. Seems like a thing. I'm gonna resolve the Nezahal trigger. And then I'm gonna get rid of my 2 deputies. I'm gonna blink my Nezahal. Let him Kaya's Wrath. Wow, he paid for that. She's back. Oh, Nezzy. Let's see if Nezahal can do some damage. Why would he pay to have this brought in untapped? Do we catch another Absorb here? Negate. Alright, I'm going to resolve the Nezahal trigger. I'm going to... I guess we see the Absorb here, right? Like, so it absorbs... Oh, it's a Sinister Sabotage. Alright. So that's why I paid. Double spell. I mean, he's out of spells in hand now. Like, that fight over Teferi right there just wiped him out. The Loch Nezahal monster, right? Chemister's Insight, that's pretty decent for him. He's in a bad spot though. And we go to the next game. Alright. The Loch Nezahal monster. Nezzy did well. Nezzy did real well. I'm gonna run it back. We did it, boys. We did it. We beat Esper Control with this weird little Wizards deck. Yeah, there was definitely a couple punts in there that if I could go back, I would play it slightly differently. But in the end, everything worked out. We just had so much more card advantage. Like, we hit all of our Sphinx's insights, and he just didn't. So, like, there might be an argument to bringing in Exclusion Mage because it's a 2/2 over, you know, cards like, you know, Deputy of Detention, which is only going to, you know, hold something for a mere moment before, you know, Kaya's Wrath, you know, clears the board. So, then again, if you can counter that Kaya's Wrath, then we're sitting in a good spot. It's a keepable hand. I mean, we've got a Nathan, Merfolk Trickster. I mean, we can start getting some damage in, which is exactly where we want to be in the early turns of the game. Make him deal with some stuff. So I'll just bring in a Memorial, and then we'll start the Naben Trickster game. So now if he wants to, like, Moment of Craving or something like that, he can do that. Got to play a blue spell here. Let's go, Naben. Get in there. Lead by example, sir. You just start getting sideways and ripping at your opponent's mind. Well, that's just mean, opponent. That's very mean. Still gonna play the Trickster here. Well, at least we have a target for the Deputy of Detention, which feels bad. Feels real bad. Because then killed Detention, and then he'll be able to put this on something else. But, you know, these things, they do happen. I mean, we are swinging 5 per turn, and that's no measly amount. You get to judge at your first PPTQ in a couple of weeks. Awesome, awesome. Will this be your trials, or like, are you already a judge? Is this your like judging at regular? Have you done any of those? Water Trap Weaver would be better over Trickster. Any thoughts? Man, Trickster is really, really good. We're just seeing a control matchup where, like, if we were against, like, you know, Merfolk, or not Merfolk Branchwalkers, but yeah, Merfolk Branchwalkers, you know, that sort of thing. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. That was horrible. Alright, he gets an Azor. But if we were against something that had creatures in it, Merfolk with Naben on the battlefield would be doing so much work. I mean, seriously, it's great. Binding a Binding seems decent. Drawing 2 cards with Memorial seems decent as well. I'm gonna go for the draw 2 cards with Memorial. Oh, we'll turn it up. Sorry, 2 left feet, can't dance. Feels okay. Also, feels fair. We getting the settle? Contempt. That'll be if he hasn't held me in contempt, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, you can have it. Not gonna fight over it. I actually like the idea of just not fighting over that so that we can fight over this. Oh, he has his own Nagate and is not even tapped out. Alright. Alright. Does he have another Nagate? He does not. Alright. This song makes you want to clean your house? I'm going to hang on to this land. I plan on using it as discard fodder to the quasi-duplicate in our graveyard. But right now, just stopping his card advantage seems to be the way to go. We know he's got a ton of Mortify, though. So, I mean, he might start getting into these Mortifies and then just, like, get his Teferis and stuff back. So, I just don't know. We'll see. Like, Mortify could be mortifying. The eldest reborn. Crap. Memorial seems good. No! His chemistry's inciting. He's gonna come back on us. Not like this. Not like this. Thief of Sanity. Alright, so he gets back our Deputy of Detention, right? Takes our Teferi. Feels bad. Feels so bad. It's almost surprising that he took our Teferi with a Deputy of Detention. I mean, he's got 3 cards in hand, though. He can probably stop this next Deputy. And there's no telling what he gets with the Thief of Sanity. But if we can Deputy our own Deputy, that's not bad. Like Deputy and quasi-duplicate of the Deputy. We'll be able to take a Thief and... What if we top decked a Nabin? Let's just kind of go for it and see what happens. Draw a card. Quasi duplicate on deputy. Take thief. I've been in worse spots. I mean, like, this isn't the most horrible thing in the world. Okay, so he took our Sphinx's inside. It's pretty good. I mean, he's back to 6 cards in hand. You can miss. When did Teferi say up to 2 lands? No! I wonder if that's how he wanted that to work out. Maybe. I mean, he's sure doing some digging. Come on, Teferi. You can do this. You just need to find what? Nabin? We find Nabin, we're infinite, right? I guess we just keep drawing cards. I mean, that's what the opponent seems to be doing. Just draw, draw, draw. Oh, they are ratted. Whatever. That's because they didn't want people on. Haha, you untap my land. Sure, whatever. The opponent just scooped. He scoops to Wizard's Retort. Got 6 cards in hand and scoops to a Wizard's Retort. Alright, we did not get to make the combo happen, okay? Like, it's no combo, but that was still fun. Let me turn this music down. Oh, man. Alright, where can you see how many mana cards opponent has in exile that they can play? The cards are just highlighted, right? So you just pull up their exile zone, they're highlighted, so you can see that. So while you play this game, you just beat Teferi on Arena with Unsealing Naya build. Be informed, I am not saying that people aren't having great success with Sarkhan's Unsealing. What I'm saying is you guys just completely burnt me out on it. Alright? Like, we played it every weekend for, it feels like just a couple months. Like, as soon as that card got printed, everybody's like, yeah, do this, do this. And then I started going through iterations of it, and and I gave my feedback on it, and I told what I thought about the deck, and then like a lot of people just did not care what I had to say about it, and they still kept wanting me to play other versions of it, and I grew very, very sick of Sarkhan's Unsealing. If you like the card, you play it, you enjoy it, you have fun with it. It went from being a card that even I felt like was a nice pet card to a card that if I never cast the card again, I may still have cast it one too many times. That's no offense to anyone. If you like it, you like it. That is all on you. I am just so sick of having to put these 4 mana and I'm so sick of playing a 4-mana enchantment that does absolutely nothing the turn it comes down, and then I have to have these deck building restrictions around the entire deck because I want to be playing 4 power or above, and then 7 power creatures, and trying to squeeze these 7 power guys that I don't actually want into my deck, and that sort of thing. And it happens. Like, you can do some really, really good stuff. So. Have I been shown Arena Pro yet? Well, no, I have not. No, I have not. It goes down as the DM. Yeah, like as far as the game goes, I think I've already closed out the. Here, we can do this really quick though. For those of you wanting to know like where you can see castables and things like that, um, if it's castable, it'll be highlighted for you. So like, as far as everything else goes, but Yargle though, Yargle. Uh, well, we're gonna see if we can watch a match here. So that's something else you can do on Magic Online is you can go watch other people's matches. Um, so when you're watching in paper, you can't see that they can cast it either. You just have to know your magic, right? And knowledge is key. But you can always just go to their exiled zone, or you can pull up their graveyard. And if you want to pull the graveyard out, you can do this. This guy's playing like mono red. This guy has Curious Obsession. He's playing Essence Capture. I really like this card in mono blue. This card's awesome in mono blue, especially if you have what's the new wizard? Not Mystical Carol, but the wizard mutant that when it gets a +1/+1 counter on it, you get to draw a card, discard a card. I think that card's pretty cool with something like Essence Capture. It lines up on turn 2 really well too. So, oh, MTG Arena.pro. Yeah, I seen that. I seen the Pro Tracker. I thought you were talking about like a new form of Arena. Yes, I have. Benthic Biomancer, that's the card. I have seen that, and that is only based on how many people are using that app. So you will get some very skewed numbers. But if more and more people start to use MTG Arena Pro, then you will get some more. You will get more information, or better information, if you will. So, all right. So, what do we got coming up? I am about to get off of here, and I am going to start on meta coverage. In order for me to do that, I need to be looking at when I say meta coverage, I mean week 1, big tournament. Let's talk about the top 8 decks, and so we're going to be pulling up the top 8. From the SCG Tour. I'm going to be looking at the 5.0 decks that have been posted so far, and I'll pull some interesting decks from there, and then we will be talking about that. So that should be out by tomorrow, and then tomorrow night we will have our live show as usual. Last week taken that didn't happen. It's gone. We're here now. We move on. But tomorrow night, business as usual, back onto Dev's decks. So, beginning of a format, we're going to be covering the new decks until we no longer have many new decks. And then we'll move into the new decks that kind of spring up from time to time. So, remember, we do have the Dev's deck tomorrow night. We've got meta coverage coming up. And, yeah. Dev's deck's your favorite show, or the meta coverage is the favorite? Because I really like doing the meta coverage. I have a lot of fun going through, talking about all the new decks that come out, talking about why these cards may or may not have been chosen, ways to defeat these decks, strategies that you should play around, and stuff like that. I have a lot of fun with that, and I look forward to doing that the first couple weeks of each season, and then kind of doing one in the middle of the season. So we are going to be talking about the week 1 decks. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed, it's a good time to subscribe. We got a lot of good stuff. MTG Barbecue, I do appreciate it, but no, there are going to be, it's just going to be me talking to the camera like usual, man. I try to record and go one shot straight through, no editing, and that's gets exponentially difficult. Exponentially more difficult. Just like the English language, right? But yeah, it gets more and more difficult if you add more variables to it. So, unfortunately, no, sir. I do appreciate it. No, I'm not going to be doing it live. Those are some of the few videos that I do record. So I'll be trying to record that tonight for you guys, and then we'll be playing some Devs decks tomorrow night. So, hope you all enjoy. If you subscribed, thank you very much. For those of you that gave donations, Mr. Drake, and for everyone that has been loyal Patreon supporters. Thank you very much. So yes. Hey, I played your deck tonight. Did I, Jason? I don't know if I did or not. I played a Mardu Aristocrats, Curious Azorius, and a Wizards combo deck. And I don't think you're Nerb, so I don't think yours was the combo deck. But anyway, to my patrons, thank you very much. We do have access to all the cards, so start sending me messages with your decks for this month. I'm going to go ahead and get those out this week during my spare time. So, oh, Color Bomb. Well, yes, absolutely. Then the Curious Azorius is your deck, I think. Or no, Mardu Aristocrats is your deck. But yes, if you're a patron and you're part of that tier, make sure that you post your decks. I've got access to all the cards now, so we can play all of those. What else we got? If you want to help support the channel, there's a number of ways you can do that. Most are in the links in the description box below. If you want to help yourself out, you want to get some deck testing, check out manatraders. If you do help the channel out by saving yourself some money with coupon code sideboardmtg they're my sponsors. They help me keep putting out content for you guys. So, like, if you guys want to play with everything, whether you got the wild cards or not, check out manatraders. It's worth it. I'm serious. It's a serious game changer. Anyway, if you do, sideboardmtg Reds, your coupon code saves you 15% on your first 3 months. And that's going to do it. Guys, gals, I had a lot of fun. Hope you had fun. We'll see you next time. We're going to do some Caravan Bowser to go out on. I know Barry likes it, and he definitely earned it.